It has been 20 years since Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, 2005, dazzled audiences with its imaginative sets, quirky characters, and Johnny Depp's unforgettable take on Willy Wonka. The film introduced a new generation to Roald Dahl's classic story, with a talented cast bringing the beloved characters to life. But what happened after the Chocolate Factory doors closed? While some cast members went on to enjoy successful careers, others faced hardships, personal struggles, or faded from the limelight. Now, in 2025, let's take a look at where they are today and the unexpected turns their lives have taken. David Kelley was born on July 11, 1929, and played the role of Grandpa Joe in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in 2005 at the age of 76. Grandpa Joe, though physically frail, is a heartwarming and energetic figure in Charlie's life, full of joy and belief in Charlie's potential. However, David Kelley's real life was far more complex and tragic. Despite his later success in acting, Kelley struggled with the limitations imposed by his age and often felt overshadowed by his peers. His career, which began in the theater, found him often playing elderly characters, leaving him with a sense of unrealized potential. He was married to actress Hilary Kelley for many years, but their marriage was far from idyllic. The couple, while seemingly content on the surface, faced deep emotional challenges, and eventually, they separated. The absence of children in his life left Kelley with a pervasive sense of loneliness, a feeling that grew stronger as his health deteriorated in his later years. While he remained beloved for his performances, his life outside the spotlight was marked by a growing isolation. Kelley's health struggles became increasingly severe, and he spent much of his final years in hospitals. He passed away on February 12, 2012, at the age of 82, from complications related to pneumonia. Liz Smith was born on December 11, 1921, and portrayed Grandma Georgina in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in 2005 at the age of 84. Grandma Georgina is a sweet and gentle presence, providing a sense of warmth and love for Charlie, yet Liz Smith's own life was marked by a much more somber reality. Smith's acting career was filled with successes, but her personal life was fraught with sadness. She married her first husband, but the marriage ended in a painful divorce, a breakup that left deep emotional scars. Liz's inability to have children became a central source of her sorrow, and she often expressed the loneliness that followed her throughout her life. Despite her acclaim for her roles in film and television, Smith's personal life was one of isolation and unfulfilled desires. Her later years were marked by health challenges, including a battle with various ailments, which only deepened her sense of loneliness. She spent much of her final years living in near isolation, grappling with the pain of a life lived without the family she had once longed for. Liz Smith's career was overshadowed by the struggles in her personal life, and the actress often reflected on the happiness she had missed. She passed away on December 24, 2016, at the age of 95, leaving behind a legacy of warmth and charm on screen, but with a personal story tinged with regret and sorrow. Christopher Lee was born on May 27, 1922, and played the role of Dr. Wonka, Willy Wonka's distant and authoritarian father, in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in 2005 at the age of 83. Dr. Wonka is a stern figure whose severe and cold parenting pushed his son Willy to run away and create his own life. Lee had a lengthy and successful acting career, but the roles he took on often reflected a darker side of his personality. His first marriage to actress Birgit Crank ended after 13 years, which deeply affected Lee. He struggled with the emotional fallout from the divorce and the realization that the marriage had failed despite his best efforts. His second marriage, to former model and actress, also faced significant difficulties, with Lee often speaking of the strain caused by their separation due to work commitments and his wife's declining health. Their relationship, though enduring, was one of deep emotional strain, and Lee often spoke of his regrets over the isolation he felt in his later years. Though his career continued to thrive, Lee felt personally adrift, longing for the connection and love that his on-screen characters often lacked. His later years were marked by depression and loneliness, and his health gradually worsened. Christopher Lee passed away on June 7, 2015, at the age of 93, due to heart failure. Eileen Essel was born on October 8, 1922, and portrayed the beloved character Grandma Josephine in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in 2005. At 83 years old, Eileen brought the character to life with a tender yet comical portrayal, showcasing a grandmother who unconditionally supported her grandson, Charlie, as he embarked on his extraordinary adventure. Grandma Josephine, a kind and loving figure, embodied a sense of unwavering optimism and joy, despite her frail health. However, behind the scenes of this warm character, Eileen's life was marked by intense personal turmoil. After a series of failed relationships, she struggled with finding lasting happiness in her romantic life. Though Eileen was married at one point, her marriage ended in heartbreak, leaving her deeply wounded. Despite having no children of her own, Eileen often spoke of a profound loneliness in her personal life. The emotional distress from her romantic failures cast a long shadow over her career, and she admitted that the pursuit of acting sometimes felt like an escape from the overwhelming feelings of isolation. Eileen's later years were burdened by health issues that mirrored those of Grandma Josephine in her final stages. It is with deep sadness that we reflect on the hardships she endured before her passing on February 15, 2015, at the age of 93. David Morris, born on September 11, 1924, in London, took on the role of Grandpa George in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in 2005, when he was 81 years old. Grandpa George was a character who exuded wisdom, often offering words of comfort and guidance to his grandson Charlie. With a history of financial hardship, Grandpa George lived with his family in a small, impoverished house, yet his love for Charlie remained boundless. However, Morris's own life was far from the picture of contentment. While his career boasted various stage and screen roles, it was often overshadowed by personal difficulties. David's personal life was marked by periods of professional instability, with several failed auditions and an emotional toll that came from constantly striving for recognition. He was married, but this marriage too faltered. The dissolution of his relationship with his wife was a devastating blow, and he spent much of his later years battling depression and the haunting feeling that his achievements on screen had not provided the fulfillment he desperately sought. His health deteriorated in his final years, and his passing on October 29, 2007 at the age of 83 came after a prolonged battle with illness. Johnny Depp was born on June 9, 1963, and at the age of 42 in 2005, he portrayed the eccentric Willy Wonka in Tim Burton's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Depp's portrayal of the quirky chocolatier, with his eccentric behavior, emotional instability, and obsession with perfection, stood out as one of the most unique takes on the character. Wonka's enigmatic nature and dark past, including his strained relationship with his father, mirrored Depp's own tumultuous life. Throughout his career, Depp was known for his versatility, playing roles ranging from Captain Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean to Edward Scissorhands. However, his career, while filled with standout performances, was plagued by controversy, struggles with addiction, and public breakups. His personal life has been marred by a series of heartbreaks and a highly publicized marriage to actress Amber Heard, which ended in a bitter divorce. Depp has also faced a number of legal battles, which significantly tarnished his image. His battles with addiction to alcohol and drugs are well documented, and they seem to have only deepened in the wake of personal crises. In 2025, Depp, now 61, remains a controversial figure in Hollywood, though his career has slowed considerably. Geoffrey Holder, born on August 1, 1930, in Port of Spain, Trinidad, was the voice behind the enigmatic narrator in Tim Burton's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. At 75 years old in 2005, his commanding voice and charismatic delivery stood out, guiding audiences through the whimsical and dark elements of the story. The narrator, with his deep, rich tone, played a critical role in shaping the film's narrative style. In his real life, however, Geoffrey's success was often marred by intense personal struggles. Holder, despite his acclaimed career in theater, dance, and film, faced an emotional struggle in his personal life, particularly with his family. His marriage to his longtime partner was fraught with turmoil, and they experienced periods of separation. The pressure of maintaining both a public persona and private despair weighed heavily on him. At one point, Geoffrey faced financial difficulties, a stark contrast to his public success. These challenges, along with the grief of losing close friends and family members, took a heavy toll on his health. As Geoffrey entered his later years, he became increasingly withdrawn, battling depression and feelings of isolation. He passed away on October 5, 2014, at the age of 84 due to complications from pneumonia. Freddie Highmore, born on February 14, 1992, was just 13 years old when he starred as Charlie Bucket in the 2005 adaptation of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. As the young boy from a poor family who wins a coveted golden ticket to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, Highmore brought a sense of sweetness and innocence to the role. However, Highmore's own life would not be as simple and innocent as his character. Throughout his career, he was praised for his talents in films like Finding Neverland and later, his role in the medical drama The Good Doctor. Despite his early success, Highmore's personal life took a tragic turn when, after a period of stardom, he struggled with immense pressure and anxiety about living up to the success of his early work. His career, though filled with achievements, was fraught with struggles against typecasting and balancing his childhood fame with the desire for a private life. While he has kept much of his personal life out of the public eye, there have been rumors about failed relationships and feelings of isolation. In the face of success, Highmore has quietly battled the internal pressure of being more than just the good boy on screen. As of 2025, Highmore is 33 years old and has retreated somewhat from the limelight, focusing on more selective projects and keeping his private life under wraps. Helena Bonham Carter, born on May 26, 1966, was 39 years old when she played Mrs. Bucket in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in 2005. Mrs. Bucket, the loving and supportive mother of Charlie, is devoted to her family despite the hardships they face in their poverty-stricken life. Bonham Carter's portrayal of this selfless mother figure contrasted sharply with her usual eccentric and dark roles, such as in The King's Speech and Sweeney Todd. However, her personal life has been a tragic tale of emotional turmoil. Bonham Carter's long-term relationship with director Tim Burton, with whom she shared 2 children, ended in heartbreak. The split was a particularly painful one, as it followed years of public admiration for their unconventional partnership. Their breakup, while amicable, left Bonham Carter reeling with the collapse of what seemed to be her last hope for a stable, happy family life. Additionally, her struggles with depression and the demands of a highly visible career have compounded her personal struggles. Bonham Carter's emotional health has always been precarious, and she has admitted to battling periods of deep sadness, despite her success. At 58 years old in 2025, Bonham Carter continues to work, though much of her career has been overshadowed by personal tragedy. Missi Pyle, born on November 16, 1972, portrayed Mrs. Beauregard at 33 years old in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, 2005. Mrs. Beauregard is a competitive, overbearing mother who pushes her daughter, Violet, to be the best at everything, often at the expense of their relationship. Pyle's real-life experiences mirror this tension. After her marriage to actor Casey Anderson, which was once thought to be a picture-perfect union, things took a tragic turn. The marriage ended in a painful divorce, largely due to infidelity, emotional neglect, and unresolved issues between the couple. Pyle was left to pick up the pieces of a shattered family life, struggling with her own feelings of inadequacy. Her career, though successful with notable roles, was marred by her ongoing battle with body image issues and anxiety, leading to periods of self-doubt and isolation. Pyle's personal challenges were often magnified by the pressures of being in the public eye. She has spoken openly about her struggles with mental health, using her platform to raise awareness and advocate for better treatment of mental health issues in the industry. As of 2025, Pyle is now 52 and leads a more private life, prioritizing her mental well-being while continuing to navigate the long-lasting effects of her past emotional and personal pain. Noah Taylor, born on September 4, 1969, played Mr. Bucket at 36 years old in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, 2005. Mr. Bucket is a humble, hard-working father who does his best to support his family despite the odds. While his character in the film is kind-hearted and caring, Taylor's own life was filled with personal and professional struggles. Despite his talent, Taylor found himself frequently typecast in quirky roles, never fully achieving the career success that many expected. His marriage to actress Toni Collette ended in a highly publicized divorce, leading him to battle the pain of a fractured family. The couple had a son, but a lengthy custody battle followed, adding to his emotional turmoil. Taylor also struggled with periods of depression and isolation, feeling disconnected from both his professional life and his personal relationships. His personal battles with mental health and career uncertainty mirrored the quiet desperation of his role in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. By 2025, at 55 years old, Taylor has largely retreated from public life, taking on smaller, independent roles while staying out of the spotlight. His life has been a series of emotional and professional ups and downs, and though he continues to act, his career and personal life remain marked by the scars of past struggles. James Fox, born on May 19, 1939, was 66 years old when he played Mr. Salt in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, 2005. Mr. Salt is a wealthy, indulgent father who dotes on his daughter, Veruca, giving her everything she demands without considering the consequences. Fox's own life, however, has been marked by personal tragedies and deep sorrow. The early death of his younger brother, Edward, cast a shadow over his career, leaving Fox struggling with grief for years. His personal life was similarly troubled. His marriage to actress Mary Ewing faced numerous challenges, including infidelity and emotional distance. Their union ultimately ended in divorce, and Fox found himself a broken man, burdened by the weight of addiction and the breakdown of his family. Despite his talent and established career, Fox's personal demons, fueled by alcoholism and the inability to reconnect with his children, hindered his success. His struggles with addiction took a toll on his professional life, limiting his opportunities in the later years of his career. Today, at 85, Fox has retreated from the public eye, living a quiet and largely reclusive life. The loss of his brother, the breakdown of his marriage, and the collapse of his personal life have shaped his final years, leaving him with a legacy marked more by heartbreak and regret than by the acclaim he deserved. Deep Roy was born on January 26, 1949, and in 2005, at 56 years old, he portrayed every single Oompa Loompa in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, a role that demanded extraordinary dedication. These small, loyal, and hard-working characters, who assist Willy Wonka with their distinct songs and quirks, became iconic under Roy's transformation. However, behind his performance was a lifetime of struggle. Roy's career, though successful in terms of the number of roles, often left him feeling marginalized and typecast due to his appearance, leading to a sense of professional frustration. The roles he was offered were often confined to his unique stature, preventing him from showcasing the full range of his acting talent. On a personal level, Roy experienced numerous failed relationships, with his marriage falling apart after years of unresolved emotional issues. His struggles with loneliness were exacerbated by his physical appearance, which made it difficult for him to form meaningful personal connections. A devastating personal loss, the passing of a close family member, left him reeling emotionally, further deepening his depression. In 2025, at 76 years old, Deep Roy continues to work sporadically in the entertainment industry, largely retreated from the public eye. Franziska Troegner was born on July 18, 1954, and in 2005, at 51 years old, she portrayed the overindulgent mother, Mrs. Gloop, in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Mrs. Gloop's excessive pampering of her son, Augustus, reflects the character's deep flaws as a mother, too consumed by her own desires to see the damage she causes. Professionally, Troegner was celebrated in Germany, but, behind the scenes, her personal life was filled with anguish. Her marriage fell apart after 20 years, marking the beginning of a turbulent period in her life. The divorce was not only emotionally painful but also a financial blow, which led to a period of professional instability. Her 2 children, who had once been the joy of her life, became estranged from her, further deepening her sense of isolation. The emotional fallout from her failed marriage and the distance between her and her children left Troegner grappling with feelings of guilt and loneliness. In addition to these personal tragedies, Troegner faced a decline in her career, with fewer significant roles coming her way. The combination of financial difficulties and emotional struggles led to a sense of being forgotten by the very industry that had once praised her. By 2025, at 70 years old, Troegner continues to live quietly in relative obscurity. Adam Godley was born on July 22, 1964, and in 2005, at 41 years old, he played the role of Mr. TV, the neglectful father who lets his son, Mike, fall victim to his obsession with television. The character of Mr. TV's disconnection from his son reflected Godley's own struggles with emotional isolation. His first marriage ended in a bitter and highly public divorce, a painful process that left emotional scars. His second marriage followed the same pattern, falling apart and leaving him feeling abandoned and disillusioned by love. His struggles with romantic relationships mirrored his inability to connect deeply with others, often retreating into his work to cope with the emotional pain. A devastating personal tragedy struck when his mother, his closest family member, passed away unexpectedly, sending Godley into a deep spiral of depression and isolation. The loss was compounded by the fact that his career, while steady, never reached the heights he had hoped for, leading to a sense of professional underachievement. As his personal and professional life unraveled, Godley found solace in fewer public appearances, seeking peace away from the public eye. By 2025, now 60 years old, Adam Godley continues to work in the theater but remains largely absent from mainstream Hollywood, his life marked by unhealed wounds, both personal and professional. Who is your favorite character from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? How do you feel knowing that some of the actors have passed away? Don't hesitate to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this content, please remember to like, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you won't miss future videos. Thank you so much.